what has your writing journey been like up until this point?
That's a really good question. So, I'm one of those people who always thought they'd be a writer one day. I just thought that was obviously what everyone wanted to do with their lives. Turns out that isn't true, but some people do. And well, I turned about 30 and I just started writing short stories. And it's just grown and grown from there, really. There's occasionally been poems, but short stories became longer and longer, and then they became novellas, and then they became novels, and then they became trilogies, and it's just been growing from there.
Oh, it's really cool. Can I ask you, what was it? Was there anything specifically when you were growing up? Was there like a teacher or an assignment or a book or a story? Like, what was it maybe that like kind of led to that seed that was planted for that love of writing?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people had good English teachers that kind of inspired them, and I had good English teachers, which helped a lot. I think it I think it was basically a love of reading that triggered it all, though. And this is a really strange thing to say, and I've said this before to people, but when I grew up, we lived in a house without central heating, which
Hmm.
sounds like an irrelevant point. So there was only one room in the house which was warm,
Got
basically.
it.
So in the winter, we all had to huddle in there, and then so my parents and my siblings would be watching stuff on television that I did not want to watch and was not
Hmm.
interested. So I would just hide in the corner reading books, basically. You know, I
Yeah,
would
yeah,
I would read Asimov books and Arthur C. Clarke books and escape from the
yeah.
world. It just
Yeah.
That was how it all started, really.
Yeah. I laugh because like my parents, they live in a really old farmhouse built by like a Civil War general or whatever, officer, and yeah, he came back, built it. So like yeah, like they don't have like central air. Their heat works most of the time, but like the house always where they're at in central Michigan, like always loses power.
Okay.
So but like we didn't have cable at the time. They couldn't run it out there. It was too expensive. My parents don't have internet. It's pretty expensive for where they're at. It's slowly, getting down. Yeah,
Yeah.
like we had, like VHS, that kind of thing. So my brother and I watch movies, but you can only watch so many movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did the
Yeah.
same thing. I just read. And like that was like the easiest thing. But I remember like it was just had a kid the other day was like, yeah, I read my Kindle all the time. I'm like, that's great. I go, you don't realize how great that is. I'm like, when my parents lost power, it'd be like 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
And I was like, we didn't have any lights, right? So I'm like, here I am with a kerosene like lamp trying to
Yeah.
finish a book, and they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm like, it must be nice to have Kindle now. So
I mean,
I laugh. Yeah.
this was Britain in the 70s, basically. So, we had like three channels on television and we obviously no internet. And yeah, and we had Star Trek once a week for an hour, but apart from that, you had nothing to escape with other than books, basically. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
books
Well, it's
were
nice too, right? Because books are like the best escape, I think,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like my dad showed me Indiana Jones from a young kid, and I thought that was so cool, and I loved it. I wanted to be an archaeologist, but I was also like the same year I watched that, I got attacked by like three different types of snakes in Michigan. So I was like, felt very connected to the character, But there was so cool at the library. They had the Young Indiana Jones
Ooh,
books. Yeah, and they were really, really, really brilliantly written, in my opinion, for like, children's like with the movie by certain authors. And yeah, like, but there was like certain things like that where I was like, why would you not read?
yeah,
Like, and
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I would, and I kind of wish I could get back to this really, but I would devour two, three books a day sometimes,
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah,
as a kid you have that time, you
yeah.
could sit in a corner and read. I would read like three Michael Moorcock books in a day. That would be like,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
and then
Another
it's
good
time
one.
for bed.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I remember like my record on vacation, like I went up north with my parents in Upper Michigan to the like Upper Peninsula, and like we would go once a year, and I would just go to the library and just stack myself, and I would bring five, and then like I would bring money, and at the time it was nice because Forgotten Realms, Dragonlance, and Star Wars, you name it, right? They were four
Yeah,
fifty for a paperback, So I would buy like five or six books, but I would probably read like eight books on vacation because like around fishing or whatever we were doing on vacation, we were usually just hanging out at the cabin, and that's what I would
yeah,
do is just read. That's like where I was like, oh, I'm gonna start to write too once I got to middle school because I had finished all the books I brought.
right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
needed something
yeah,
else to do. Yeah,
yeah.
that's super cool.
It's
That's
good.
awesome.